Anand, I just have to ask you: are you tuned into Streamer University by any chance?
I saw something on the way in that Kai Cenat posted.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, though.
It blows my mind. Like, as a guy who had a previous life in the world of content, right? Like, I would say that content really went from like reality TV to probably like vlogging to, I would say now the newest thing is these streamers. Like, there's no bigger celebrity than Speed and Kai.
Yeah.
And they all have like their own style from what I gather. So like Speed goes to China and like does wild shit and goes to Brazil and does all this stuff. Kai more like sets up these things. The last thing we talked about was when he did that thing with Kevin Hart and Drewski and the subathon or whatever. But this one, what's funny is they actually went to the Akron University campus.
No way.
Yeah. And it's really funny. Like, I saw them all wearing Akron shirts and stuff. I'm like, why is LeBron involved in it? What's happening? And then I realized they were on the Akron U campus. And it's so funny because I used to skateboard there. You know, like, I had flashbacks watching it because like we would just go skate around the campus all the time when I was a kid. But anyway, they took over an entire Akron U campus and they invited like 50 streamers. And they called it Streamer University. And the bigger streamers like taught the classes and the smaller streamers attended them. And everybody streamed all day and all night. And they had parties and they had like super soakers and it is the most, and here's the craziest thing to me is all of these streamers have their own like character that they play, right?
Yep.
And so the whole weekend they were in character like with each other. So it's literally like a live skit for an entire weekend. And if you looked at Twitch, like every single page was just Streamer University. It was a complete like takeover all over TikTok.
So people paid for access,
no,
I'm assuming, right?
They got invited.
Got it.
Like Kai.
Like the streamers.
Yeah, Kai made a list of like smaller people that he thought were promising and bigger people that he thought would be good. Like,
so it's like Survivor or like a real world.
It's so crazy. It's so impressive. Not only like to pull off the production of it, but like the way that all of these kids, because they're all young, are able to like play a character for an entire weekend. Like, you can tell they're playing characters and they start to build up like drama. Like, two guys are arguing over one girl and then the guy has another girl, but it's all fake. It's all like, they're just playing roles. But at any moment, because every single person is walking around with either a cameraman or a camera, you have to play your character and like follow the storyline. And it is so insane. And it just broke
What's the end goal in this case? Like, is there a graduating class? Is there like a valedictorian?
So they did like a an end ceremony where they gave out like awards and shit, valedictorian,
like superlatives.
Yeah, superlatives. That's what it is. Yep. And I think that they'll probably do another one. Like, I think it could be something that they do every year. I think it's more just like Kai's style. The classes were like not real. It's just for content and stuff. But like
bullshit.
Like
But isn't this just the second iteration of Instagram influencers that we saw 15 years ago?
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying is I think that like, look, I think we inspired like the Jake and Logan Paul generation.
Yep.
And then I think that there was probably a couple more generations within that. But I'm saying that the new Rob Dyrdek, the new Logan Paul, the new whatever is Speed and Kai. Like, they are by far the biggest. And it's because it's this like IRL stream. You feel like you know them. And so now, I think they started streaming, like doing what I'm doing on my computer right now, but then you have to naturally build on it. And now it's becoming so grand that, Speed is traveling the world and flipping over cars. Kai is taking over school universities. I mean, I don't know where the shit goes, but you just do me a favor. And tonight or whenever this week, when you have some time, type in Streamer University on TikTok.
I will, but the post I saw on the way in was negative about it.
Well,
and
you just got
Kai was trying to like explain himself and he had a heartbroken sign. So I have no idea what the context was, but It was definitely negative.
Yeah, you just got like a 1 in 1,000. The only thing negative that happened was a girl got shot. Like they had like these little BB gun things, and a girl got shot in the eye with one, and
that's bad.
taken to the hospital. And she said that the last thing she saw was Kai. And anyway, but no, it was overwhelmingly positive. Just type it in, scroll through.
I love it. I love Kai. He's
it is. But not only is it Kai, and the reason why he's so smart is because now you have every streamer talking about you. And like, for the pep rally, he made everyone turn off their stream and send everyone to his stream. But like, it's the fact that all of these motherfuckers are like playing a character. Like they were fighting. They were having like a water fight where they were throwing water in the dorm. It was like fucking insane. I don't know how they didn't get shut down. Throwing water and flour on each other in the dorm. And people are like fighting, like looking like they're about to fist fight, but never because it's an act. It's all an act. And
it's new TV. That's all it is.
Even that kid, Ray, the Taiwanese kid.
Yeah.
I think the last round of Knicks, he was getting bombarded.
He was at the game.
I'm sure, dude.
Everyone was just like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, they're so famous.
They're so famous. It is so crazy. And like the other thing that would happen is like a girl that a guy liked would be in somebody else's room, in their dorm room, and they could see because all the fans could see because they were on his stream. And so all the fans would go to that other person's stream and say, yo, room 604. Your girl's in room 604. And then the guy would rush down and then they'd switch over. It was fucking crazy.
Well, I'll just, just to put a pin on that. Yeah. I mentioned Speed to everyone I met in China and they love him.
Well, I mean, he was there.
Speed.
But that's so crazy. In China.
What's crazy is when I got there, I landed in Hong Kong first, which is obviously not mainland China, but I randomly asked people, I was like, hey, do you guys know any streamers? He's like, who's Speed? And everybody that trip is the equivalent of, for those that are older, when Richard Nixon went to China and opened up China to the world.
Yeah.
Speed is the new Richard Nixon.
I also think it's similar to the NBA guys that go every offseason to China.
This is way bigger. Culturally, yes. No, but you know why? The NBA was marketing America. Speed was marketing China. Very different. We had always been marketing our shit in that country.
Right.
And the shift that's happening, and I'm gonna give you the full recap of the trip, because the Speed thing was not bringing American culture to China. It's about bringing Chinese culture to America. And that's my whole theme of my trip. So, one of the things I had.
So why don't you just start from the beginning?
So I landed in Hong Kong, went straight to dinner with our friend Brian Wu, went to his restaurants, a mall that I've been to many times in Hong Kong, typical luxury, fancy mall called Pacific Place. And it's the same, nothing changed. Stayed at a hotel, very dated. Walking around Hong Kong, it felt like nothing had really changed. It felt very old. It did not feel like a cool new city. But I got hooked up, thanks to Hatred guys, to like a restaurant group in Hong Kong. And I had like one of the best Indian meals I've ever had at the Punjab Palace. I had incredible Italian and incredible Chinese food. So the food was phenomenal, like as expected. But what I was really shocked to see, it was Hong Kong always reminded me of place of expats, Australians, British, Americans, they're gone.
So if you go to LKF, it's not.
No, it's all
white?
Chinese people.
Really?
Chinese and some Africans.
Why? Because
that used to just be white people.
What?
Why is that? Do you think?
So yeah, it's like
LKF is like one street in Hong Kong.
It's like a Times Square type. Yeah.
But in general, like, why is it because they they
all left? They all left. Like,
but
I think during COVID,
right.
people just decided and woke up and said, I'm out of here. Like, we went to a party one night and, I saw more, I saw Americans, I saw, British people, I saw more local Hong Kong people, but like, it definitely, like when you went to like the hot bar, the hot restaurant, it was a Chinese crowd. It was not a diverse crowd. So, and what's interesting is people kept complaining about how expensive Hong Kong is. Hong Kong is cheap compared to LA and Miami and New York. Like when you eat at Hong Kong at the nicest restaurants, they're like, oh, Hong Kong's so expensive. I didn't feel like it was expensive at all. 10 years ago, I felt like Hong Kong was very expensive. But when you eat out in LA or Miami and New York, it's so fucking expensive that Hong Kong felt reasonably priced for what you were getting. And so, yes, there were some nice restaurants and it looked beautiful and whatever, but like the city did not feel like what it used to be. Like Hong Kong to me always felt like the future. And then when I was talking to our friend Brian, I'm like, what happened, dude? This place is dead. And he's like, yeah, we all go to China on the weekends. And so what's interesting is all these years I've been going to Hong Kong, so many of the people I would spend time with in Hong Kong had never in their life been to mainland China. Keep in mind, to go to Shenzhen is a 30-minute drive or a 7-minute train, and nobody had gone. Post-COVID, it changed. Shenzhen, which is the closest city from Hong Kong, is where everyone goes to eat. It's cheap, luxury hotels, shopping, whatever you want. Apparently, everyone goes there on the weekends. Our friend was telling me that during like Easter weekend, it was like some record number of people millions of people went from Hong Kong to Shenzhen. So it was like, it's clearly becoming China is where it's at. And so whatever, we spend a couple of days in Hong Kong, meetings. People are not optimistic about Hong Kong. Business is bad everywhere. Tourism is down. Real estate's bad. Retail is bad. Like it's tough. The market there is tough. It has not snapped back yet. So I was like, okay, that's Hong Kong. Wonder what's China like. We had a train booked. A friend of mine sent us a car. So we took a car from Hong Kong to Guangzhou, crossed the border. And you see there's so many people going just for like.
What was customs like?
It was pretty easy. It was mellow. There's nobody there. Like when you land in Hong Kong airport, fucking zero people walking into Hong Kong.
Do they ask questions?
No, I think they're happy to see anybody. Even in China, when I went from Hong Kong to Guangzhou, that was a lot busier. There was like people there and people crossing the border. But like, dude, Hong Kong, no fucking traffic anywhere. Zero traffic. Like you were flying around like it was a holiday weekend on a Monday. Nothing. Nobody.
What did Raj say? I know you hung out with him for a little bit.
He said it's pretty bad.
Really?
Very bad. He said real estate's dead. He was very down. He was a very negative guy. Didn't like his energy. Very negative. They're fucked. Like Hong Kong people are not, they don't feel good. So then we get to Guangzhou. We get there. We're staying at the Rosewood. This is a 10-star hotel, $300 a night. 107 floor hotel. 107. I'm staying in like floor 101. Very inconvenient, by the way, to stay at 100.
You keep getting,
and you take two elevators just to get down. Right. Very good. Unfucking believable hotel. Probably the nicest hotel I've ever stayed at. Service, experience, food, whatever. Then I go down to walk around, and I used to stay back in the day at the Ritz right next door. And I start walking around the neighborhood just to like get reacclimated before our meeting. And I was like, oh my God, this place is so nice. Everyone speaks English now. Like every coffee shop, hit my Starbucks, hit the sandwich shop. Everyone speaks English. It was like, whoa, what the fuck happened here? Food is good everywhere, eating well. And I'm like, wow, China is hot. Go to meetings, have a few meetings with big companies in China. Go visit the offices. Holy shit. Well, the nicest office I've probably ever seen is VIP. VIP is a retailer in China. They take us on a tour. The biggest swimming pool I've ever seen, archery, gym, spin classes, fucking showers. The library there, drama, you would lose your mind if you saw this library. Right. Every book ever made. The CEO, took us around, and he's like, with the founder, he's like a billionaire. He's talking about like, we encourage people to learn and read. And I was like, man, China has come a long fucking way. And I'm like sitting in the meetings and we're meeting different companies. We're meeting all like the Chinese companies everywhere we go. And specifically Guangzhou, that was the city of all the Chinese cities where I was like, wow, this city has come a long way. It's very futuristic. It is very livable. If you are willing to go out and like, you know, especially if you're Chinese American, fuck. I always wanted to go to China like 15 years ago. I would go back now.
Are your guys there
Which guys?
that lived in Guangzhou? I don't know their names. They're there.
They're back and forth now. They're between Panama and Guangzhou. But they're just like, I give you an example. Okay, one, EVs. They should never, ever let Chinese EVs into America. They're too good.
Really?
They're too good.
BYD.
No, it doesn't matter. There's 7,000 BYDs. Chinese EV, my friend told me this crazy story. He's a manufacturer in China. He goes, making an EV in China today is like starting a brand. He goes, if you want to have an EV car, you can start one tomorrow. There's so many, all the manufacturers.
So it's like opening a
white label.
Shopify store.
It's white label. You can white label your own car. You know, if I want to do, you know, D car, I can launch the D car tomorrow. It's so easy. There's 1,000 fucking brands in China of EV. They're like these minivans we were taking everywhere, personalized, you know, temperature, just massage chairs, just too good.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, if you're an American manufacturer, you can never allow these cars to come. It's a wrap. Every American car company would go out of business tomorrow. Ford, GM, fucked, done, finished. They're too good. And they're priced all over the place. If you want a kind of just basic car for 20 grand, you can get that. If you want the most luxurious minivan you've ever been to for $80,000, they have that. So like the taste level, even when you walk around Hong Kong, the style kind of felt drab, like didn't feel cool. I got to Guangzhou and then later I'll talk about Shanghai and I was like, whoa, everyone's like super trendy. I was like, this is fucking cool.
This guy's a CCP agent.
I know. It's we lost him.
I'm selling the dream here.
We lost him.
So
He's like, speed.
Guangzhou, we go
speed.
Look, here's the thing. You can walk anywhere. You can do whatever you want. You just cannot speak the fuck up. You have to shut the fuck up.
Well, it's like Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Right. As long as like it is unbelievably safe. It's clean as shit. It's like the big difference between, I know everyone thinks India is the next superpower. It's not. There's no fucking chance India. In China, there's not a piece of fucking trash. I did not see trash or a trash can.
No, but everyone thinks India is 30 years behind China.
No, they don't have the cultural self-awareness. Chinese people have so much fucking pride in taking care of their community and their country. I don't think India could never get away. Trash? Where are you going to put the trash? People are shitting on the streets still in India. Plumbing. The dictatorship of China is what got it there, right? And now there's like a semi-freedom lifestyle.
Right.
What happened to him there? Did he get turned?
They turned him.
No,
they turned him and sent him back.
I think what it is like when you're walking. When you're walking around a country, like when you walk around Europe,
go to Shanghai.
No, I'm going to go to Beijing. Beijing was scary.
Okay, there you go.
When I walked around Beijing, I was like, whoa, I'm good. I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Why Beijing?
Because Beijing is the capital. It's like
too many people.
Too serious.
A lot of military.
Yeah.
A lot of military.
Yeah. So you felt like you were in a military.
Like Guangzhou, like I was jaywalking and I was just doing my thing and, you know, being a loud American.
Right.
Beijing, I did not feel comfortable with being a loud American. And then even when I went to go pay for stuff, only WeChat, no credit cards, no English, like get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And so military is on the streets?
Like you just see like people wearing military shit, just walking around.
Yeah.
Just too close for comfort.
Yeah. I was like, I'm good here.
Yeah.
I was only there for like fucking 16 hours, not even 12 hours. So I was like, get me out of Beijing.
Yeah.
Not my vibe. Right. Shanghai is exactly how I remember, just got a little bit nicer. Like very crowded still. Like that was the busy where there was traffic, beautiful hotels, beautiful restaurants, shopping.
Still no homeless.
What? Homeless?
Did you see one homeless person the whole trip? That doesn't exist.
Absolutely
right?
not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No homeless.
What do
Where
they
do
do?
they keep them? Because there's 1 billion plus people.
Everyone's got a home, bro. Everyone's working.
So what are they doing with the poverty? There's plenty of poverty in China.
They might just
I know there's plenty of
disappear
remove it.
them.
Unhomed or unalived.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, unheartbeated.
No, it's gone. You just don't see it. It's so safe. It's beautiful. Shopping, everything. It's just like,
I mean, if full on normal
Immaculate.
citizens go, like, entrepreneurs go missing, why wouldn't,
And how many cameras did you see on the streets?
every 3 feet.
There's a
Cameras
camera.
everywhere. Smile.
Like, is that the only, what's funny is the cleanest, nicest countries or areas now are Dubai, China, places where there's no,
You're not allowed to fuck around.
yeah,
No bullshit.
yeah, no bullshit.
Yeah. And what's funny is like I get home, in front of my house is human shit.
Yep.
On the side of my house is human shit.
Yep.
There was a brick next to it also. I'm sure that was going to come through our window at some point.
Right. Shit covered brick.
Yeah, shit covered
Dip
brick.
it in there and
Zombies
heave it in the
walking up
window.
and down our street.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like
Would you move to China?
I wouldn't move to China, but I think like we have accepted such a pathetic
Right.
way of life, considering how much money we still are the richest country. by
Especially we
far.
live in LA, dude.
Yeah, like you live in LA, and it continues to baffle my mind that we have just. I try to explain. People in China were asking me like, why do you guys live like this? Like this, and I'm like, what? You know why? Because anything you do in America, you're racist. If you say you clean up everything in LA, you're racist.
Right.
If you do something, you're racist.
Right.
That's what America has become. Like you can't actually do what we want to do.
Yeah.
It would be considered inequality for some
Or
group
you're an
of people.
oppressor, like everyone's an
You're an
oppressor.
oppressor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so we can't get out of our own way. But
That was
I think,
you
like,
kind of covered it a little bit, but like expand on like literally when you landed. So you were there for how long?
Yeah.
A week?
Yeah.
You land, you get in your car at LAX, you come back home. Like, what do you honestly think? Like I said, you kind of said it, but
Yeah. So look, I think the things that I think about China that are like, I'll give you the pros and cons of China. The pros of China are they've gotten very modern. It's extremely clean, extremely safe, and you can make a living there now. I never thought you could make a living if you're a middle-class person in China, but you can actually live really well. The downside of China is you basically are stuck. You're not going anywhere, right? Like you may get a visa once in a while to go to Europe or America, but you're basically stuck. Like most people in America are quiet, shut the fuck up. It's probably, if you were to think about what percentage of the population has to have an opinion on everything, what is it? 10%, 5%? I don't know.
right.
Most people just go on with their day and shut up.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what education is like. Like I met a lot of people that were schooled in Asia and they were very fucking smart. Like prior, when I would go to meetings, the younger people were educated in America. They're not. They believe their schools in China are the best.
Right.
So they go to school now in China, unlike previous generations where the idea was America had the best education. So I do think that's a lot different. I met a lot of people that went to like whatever, Guangzhou Tech or whatever it is. And so those are different. The big thing though, the one big thing that I think if you're an American, China is definitely in a tough economic spot. Very tough.
Yeah. So what are the factories saying?
I didn't meet any factory owners, but I met retailers. Everyone said it's soft. They said it's been soft for 2.5 years.
Before tariffs.
They're not so concerned about tariffs. They think at the end of the day, America and China is so attached to the hip. Like it's not in the news there. Like Trump is
Obviously
in the news,
not.
but like they're not talking tariffs on the news there. And I was watching the news. And so what you do see is,
I think it's telling that Trump went to the Middle East and not Asia.
yeah, because I think he knows that like at the end of the day, we're attached. They're going to figure it out. Like, I don't think there's an option for America and China not to figure it out. It is shocking, though, how down on business they were. They never were. You would never.
And these are like the biggest corporations.
Biggest corporations, people who work in the industry that don't work at these companies, but are vendors, brands, suppliers, unbelievably like negative, which is shocking.
And they distribute globally.
Mainly to China.
Oh, even within China, it's soft.
talking about within China. It's bad. Consumer is soft. The malls were dead. Like the only people shopping, no one had shopping bags. It was dead. Like retail is very soft there. So I think if you're America and you know that information, like you have a tremendous amount of leverage. Like their consumer is soft.
I mean, I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
I'm so confident now that America and China are so attached to the hip that like there's no chance but to negotiate.
But why is the Chinese consumer soft? So let me understand this. So I get why the factories are soft.
Real estate in China is really bad. There's a mega Chinese real estate bubble. They overbuilt. So the big difference was, this is the big learnings I got. So in the last 30 years, a lot of Americans owned real estate, but then started diversifying into equities. So you saw this huge rise in stocks, and the boomers, a lot of wealth was created in 401ks. And in China, everyone put into real estate, but the real estate was a bubble. Like all the buildings, all these things, like it's kind of in a weird place where there isn't. You have to remember, China peaked as a population.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
you want to know another really fascinating thing, a fascinating observation, and it dawned on me on the last day of the trip. So I went for a week, and I promised my kids toys. I promised them two things: toys and a Labubu, which I'll get to that in a second. And I promised them toys. I'm going in mall after mall, after store. There's no fucking toy stores. There's like a couple kids' clothing places, but actual toy stores. You go to a mall in America, there's toy stores. Toys in every department store, toys. There's no fucking kids. That's what I realized.
Right. There's no market.
Kids.
Right.
There's no market. Everyone had one kid. No one has a brother and sister.
They
Yes.
intentionally.
I know, but like
did that.
they can't reverse it.
Yeah,
Right.
now they're trying to reverse it now.
It's too late.
Right.
Yeah.
The culture got used to this independent lifestyle. You go to the airport, zero fucking kids. I went to 4 fucking Chinese airports in 4 days. I didn't see one goddamn kid.
You go to LA.
You go to any airport in America,
Yeah.
there's 5 million kids.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating observation that there's no children, there's no toys.
That's a good observation.
Couldn't
Man.
believe it.
I feel like they're gonna have to
Given
start
it's a
making
billion plus
kids
people.
like in labs.
I think that's one option.
I'm just saying, like, what do you do when like all of these, like Japan has the same issue? There's a lot of really big, and I think, China probably has like looser, I guess you could say.
I think the U.S. is going to have the same problem, to be honest.
But like, what do you honestly do?
But we have the immigration button. We can always.
Yeah, but I mean, you just think about young kids. I mean, we all know young kids that just aren't inclined to having kids.
Yeah.
At 25, no one wants to have kids. I think they'll have kids. I think life expectancy, as it continues to increase, people will have children later. I'm not as concerned about America about it because America is still like a family culture. Sure, in the big cities, it feels like people are not having kids. You leave LA, New York, and Miami, everyone's having kids. They just are.
That's true. Yeah.
So
in Ohio, everyone's having kids, right? Drama?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you're having kids. So I'm the toy thing really blew my mind because there was no kids, no toys. That was crazy.
Did you get a toy for Dom?
What about the Labubu?
Can't find fucking toys. There's no goddamn toys. So I just want to say on our January prediction episode, I said my biggest prediction of the year was Pop Mart and Labubu.
Yep.
And obviously I was right. It's biggest thing in the fucking world. It's so big, you literally cannot find it in China either. You cannot find it. So I went to 3 Pop Mart vending machines and they didn't have one, but they had other things. They had like Crybaby, which is their other big thing, Molly something, I don't know, whatever. So anyways, after sitting in front of one for 45 minutes with two people I work with, we figured out finally how to pay for one via WeChat, and we paid for it and we got it. It wasn't exactly what we wanted, but whatever. We got some stuff. But Pop-Mart Phenomenon, my God, when you land in Hong Kong, you just start looking at all the wealthy people's like Birkins and the bags. Everyone had a Labubu on top of their bag. And literally in the 1 week I was gone, because I told my wife about it, and a lot of people didn't really know about it. Our age group, obviously young people knew about it. I come back and it's Labubu mania. It's fucking mania. Everywhere I go, I see these goddamn dolls now. And every woman has them on their bags. Adults and their Birkins.
I don't know if you saw on Instagram, Deluxe.
Yeah.
On his DJ set, had a Labubu.
Everyone has them.
What the fuck?
You know, I don't think you guys realize.
I don't know where he performed this past weekend, but there was a Labubu doll on his set. This is going
to be the Beanie Babies times 100. It's that crazy of a craze.
Is it here at all?
It's here in a Pop-Mart in Century City. Every time they have a Labubu drop, fucking sold out, line down the street. They just opened one in Northridge Mall. Go Google it or search it on TikTok. The longest line Northridge Mall has ever seen ever.
Amanda bought a bunch off eBay.
Yeah, that's where you have to buy.
I've seen those lines at Century City.
Yeah. The lines at Century City, I'm telling you, this thing is, and it's really interesting because it's very popular in like predominantly Asian influenced big cities. So like LA, San Francisco, and New York. Right. No one else knows about it yet. It is about to be like so fucking big this year for Christmas. And I think the other interesting piece to it is the full price retail, if you can get it, is like $20-$25. It's a blind box. That's what everyone wants to buy. So you can unbox them and see what you get. A 6-pack is $128. I think given the financial times we're in, you get like tremendous joy, and it's like a reasonable cost. Like if this was during COVID, you're buying like a Rolex. Now you're buying $128 6-pack of fucking Labubus,
right?
And you get a lot of joy. But I'm telling you this thing. So I'll just share. I went and met with them.
All right, so
I went to their office.
Right, can you walk me through the history of Labubu? Why is it so big?
Yes, that little guy.
It's just different versions of that little guy?
Yeah, wow. And there's collabs.
So
Pop-Mart's
who's the
a 15-year-old toy company. 15-year-old.
It's been around forever. Long.
Yeah, but it's a young Chinese guy that started it. And this is going to end cap what I believe the future opportunity is, because we're all listening to entrepreneurs here. Pop-Mart's a Chinese company. Shein is a Chinese company. BYD is a Chinese company. 10 years ago, the idea of buying a Chinese brand in America was unheard of. 5 years ago, coming out of COVID, during COVID, Chinese anything.
Yep.
People were being prejudiced towards Chinese people. Chinese brands are the next wave of brands. Not Korean, not Japanese. What I saw, I met with mega factories that launched Chinese brands in China, and they were telling me about their brands. So I went and visited all their stores. Oh my God. The product is phenomenal. So Pop-Mart is going to be the wave that changes this. Where like,
but how did Labubu become an
Lisa,
American phenomenon?
Do you know who Lisa is?
Who?
Is it K-pop?
Do you know who Lisa is? Blackpink.
Yeah, of course.
In the fall of last year, posted it on Instagram. And I think that's what drove it in America, got awareness of it, because she was looking for a specific Labubu and she kept talking about it and she found it and she got so excited when she got it. She was, if I were to guess what was the impetus that made it popular in America, is probably her. And then what happened is like, it literally became an accessory for Birkin bags. So it's just like dumb luck that the richest people on earth, whenever anything starts with the richest people, you guarantee you're going to get the poor. 100%.
And it's not super expensive.
No, but that's my point. This doll started hanging off of you know, like even what's funny is I told Dominic about it, who's in first grade, about like, he's like, why are you going to China? I go, Labubu. And he just didn't know what that was. So whatever, he goes to school, he tells the boy, he's like, oh, my dad's in China getting Labubu. And now all of a sudden everyone knows what it is. Like in the matter of weeks, in the last 6 weeks, this fucking thing has become such a phenomenon. And I saw, like, I noticed it at ComplexCon last year. That was where I saw, I was like, oh my God, this thing's about to blow. Because I know all the reseller kids were collecting them and reselling them in our office. And then ComplexCon, I saw a line and I was like, oh shit, this thing's going to go.
But you really think it's Lisa from Blackpink?
I think she had a big push. She had a big push. That's where like a lot of people have pointed to why it got popular. But here's my end cap on the opportunity. Chinese brands are coming to America. Chinese car brands will never be allowed here, and they shouldn't. Everything else, fashion, beauty, other types of electronics that are not like invasive. Like obviously when you see the robotics in China, it's phenomenal product. I don't know if that'll ever make it here either, because if you don't want the autos, you probably should not let Chinese robotics in your home. But I sat through a presentation of Chinese robots in homes in China. They think they'll have full penetration in Chinese homes within like 5 years. Like full. Everyone's going to have a robot in their house. Cleaning, answering calls, doing the most basic things. So I think this next wave of brands that happened in America, like there was this huge wave of Korean brands that came in the beauty space. I think Chinese brands are going to get in every category, every beauty, fragrance, apparel. And I'd be thinking if I'm an American brand, what my competitive advantage is. And it has to be marketing, because the product now that they're making is so fucking good, because they make for the best brands in the world. So the product is phenomenal. Like I would look at like random I saw a power drill. Chinese power drill is so sick. Like the sickest power drill I've ever seen in my life.
I guess you're saying two different things.
What?
The design.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
You're saying two different things, right? You're saying they're able to produce better than anyone in the world, but then the economy's still soft.
In China, they need America. They need America. They are underestimating the big fat American. They need it.
And because you're saying the product's better than what we have.
Yes, and it doesn't matter there because they don't got the money still. The money's here.
The boomers are here.
You want that power drill? It better be in fucking Costco.
Right.
Otherwise, no one's buying that shit.
Right.
It's a fascinating dynamic, and I think that's what Besant, Lutnick,
They
Trump,
realize that.
And they're just like, we're going to bleed you out.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? What else is it?
They don't have a negative. I don't think they have a negative opinion of Trump. In fact, a lot of people in China, I asked them, what do you think of Trump? Like unbiased. And they were like, if I was him, I would do the same thing. Like I would do exactly what he's doing. I was shocked to hear that. Right. And then here's the other real interesting take. I met a German in Hong Kong who lives in Germany, and he spends his time between Hong Kong and Germany. And I think we have some German listeners.
Paul Ripke.
Yeah. I've never heard. He's so fucking negative on Europe. He's like, it is toast. It is finished. Germany is socialist. It's never coming back. We've lost innovation. The immigration is completely out of control. Like it is not the Europe I remember. And he's like my age, early 40s. And he just basically said like, it's not what I remember. I'd rather live in Hong Kong or China than fucking Germany now. Right. It's a joke. There's no opportunity.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're at the end of like the Portland politics.
Yes.
Like, no, I don't even think it's a politics. I just think
there's definitely politics in Europe.
But don't you think like the immigration, that's all political, right? Like it's all a political belief system.
But there's no entrepreneurs there because entrepreneurs leave.
Because they don't allow it. It's a socialist state, right?
Right. But think about like the politics almost killed San Francisco, which was the city with the most entrepreneurs. Like think about like I just feel like there was a political movement or ideology that was just very flawed. That I feel like we might be at the end of people thinking, and the problem with Europe is they had all that political belief, but not the economy to bail it out. America could get through it for 10 years because we had the economy. But I just feel like it isn't, to be honest with you, it's not a Democrat or Republican thing. Obviously, most of these ideas are embraced by Democrats, but I'm saying that I think it's a shift that will happen, hopefully, even within the Democratic Party, which will also impact Europe, which will impact, I think there's just an ideology that hopefully we're at the end of.
But even if you think about the Collison brothers who started Stripe, which is now, whatever, a $200 billion company.
Yeah.
They left Ireland to go start in San Francisco, 15 years ago?
Because it's still better. Still a step up. Yeah. You still have the talent. You still have still America, still whatever. But
I think the reality is when I meet young people in Europe, they don't feel like the opportunities there anymore. And that's because of
But
I
think it started 15 years ago.
Yeah, but that's socialism killed it over 15 years. Their policies didn't start yesterday. They started killing the countries. This guy, it was funny. So I had two work colleagues that were with me. They were like, whoa, Europe is fucked. This is how someone talks about
Europe,
it.
Honestly, the entire European economy is just a tourist economy. Yeah. You got great beaches, you got great hotels.
That's what's happening in Japan now. Japan is basically a tourism economy. It's where it's heading to.
We saw our friend's post from Cannes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. But that's
tourism.
Yeah. So I remember having dinner with a local Parisian last summer, and she's an older lady. She's actually, she's American, but she's been living in Paris for 30 years. And she's like, Paris is just the world's museum. There's nothing here.
Yep.
She was very negative about opportunity wise. She's like, I leave the country to go make money.
I've heard that in London too now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I've had friends tell me London is literally irrelevant.
Yeah. It is irrelevant. What's relevant about, that's the problem. Those policies
and so I said this on a few pods ago, 10,000 millionaires left in the last year.
Yeah.
And everyone's just we're out.
Yeah. I think people love European culture and European lifestyle. The problem is that's not the same Europe that exists today. Right. And it's going to be gone in a century.
Yeah. If you're a bright entrepreneur in Europe, you're either going to Asia or you're going to America.
Well, you're not going to Asia because there are none there. Zero. You're only going to America. Everyone is still only going to America.
If Trump lets you in.
So if you're lucky enough to hit the lottery to come here, there's nowhere else to go. You're better off just grinding it out till you get in. If it takes you 10 years, there's literally, you can't go to China if you're not Chinese. It's a tough place.
What was the, did you have any conversations about immigration? Do they want people in there or do they not?
They don't.
Hell no.
Not interested. No.
What were you said you were going to be a conversationalist. So
did you look at anyone's TikTok?
What?
Did you look at anybody's TikTok by chance?
Good.
I want to see what their TikTok looks like.
Oh, Douyin? I didn't go on their Douyin.
Yeah,
I didn't go on it.
Science and
you know what's
technology.
interesting? So Instagram works fine now there. YouTube still doesn't work. You know what doesn't work there? And I didn't realize it till later. I just figured I had bad reception. Spotify.
Really?
Spotify does not work.
Really?
No.
They want gangster rap?
Instagram and TikTok worked fine. I was able to go on Instagram and TikTok. YouTube, they always block that. But you could not get on fucking Spotify, which is smart. I like that.
They don't want Rogan.
You don't know what you'll end up listening to on Spotify.
A little bit of fucking Rogan, a little bit of Lil Baby.
Yeah, you're just we don't want that shit in this country.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating.
So I guess the other question of all the people you talk to, they're happy to be in China. They do not want to leave.
I asked. I met a very large Chinese company, young staff. We all went to lunch together. I'm like, oh, where are you guys all from? They go, Guangzhou. I'm like, okay, cool. And we were in Guangzhou. I'm like, what do you think about Guangzhou? She's like, it's the greatest city in the world.
Wow.
Not Paris, not Rome.
Yeah, she's like, it's the greatest city in the world. She's like, I would live nowhere else. When you have that kind of pride, it's really hard to beat that spirit.
Right. When was the last time you were there?
7 years ago,
Right.
8 years ago. I don't know, a long time.
I've never been to mainland China, so I have no perspective.
It's been a long time since I've been there.
I've been to Hong Kong, but it was always fun. And you're saying it's not fun.
It's just, there's just not people there. It's empty. Like we went to the Soho House. They had a party, so there was people at the party, but like upstairs, it's like 5 floors of fucking empty people.
That's
Right.
crazy.
It's just I wish you didn't come home to shit in a brick, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm America all the
Well-
way, but the shit bricks are just that's just what's getting me.
Yeah, and I think the problem that I continue to see that within China, Chinese people have a lot of pride. And I think that's obviously part of their marketing strategy internally as a country, is you got to build yourselves up. In America, the power of free speech is everyone can do and think and do whatever they want. But unfortunately, it's turned in the last couple of years, right? Like you are seeing people mad about America constantly, but like they've never been anywhere. Most of these people who are cheering free Palestine have never been in the West Bank.
Right.
So
Or
if you
anywhere.
haven't experienced,
I want to give an optimistic hope for Americans.
we're fine because we have so much money.
Yeah. No, but our niece is in Malaysia for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Comes from a very well-to-do family. And it's a, shit in a hole kind of situation.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
It's like one of those like little holes. And obviously in America, she does not have to do that.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I want to experience this. And
You
she's
can just
16.
you can go to forest.
What?
You can just go to the forest.
Sure.
Dig a
But
hole.
she's willing to go to Malaysia
Right.
to do this
Yeah,
and
I mean,
not complain.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. There's a lot of, yeah, but like,
And she doesn't need to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of kids. So a lot of kids will go and experience, life outside of America, which is fine. But I think the bigger issue is we have to figure out how to rebuild the pride in the country. Because I think if you rebuild the pride in the country, you'll start taking care of your community, your neighborhood, your street, your neighbor, the people around you again. And I think that fundamentally has been lost in America.
But
And that's
think
an
about-
opportunity.
Think about this experience our niece is going to have. She's going to come back and be like, oh, like my current life isn't what is normal in the world.
Yeah, but doesn't mean she's going to do anything differently.
I don't
in
know if
America.
she won't, but she'll have empathy.
Yeah, but that's part of the problem. We have too much empathy in America. It's time to start having pride.
Right.
We need to go back to having pride. Like I watched that Bin Laden documentary,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Fucking USA!
It's so
God damn it!"
good.
I didn't see it. What platform?
It's
on
called American
Netflix.
Manhunt on Netflix. You gotta watch it. It's
So like, it's why like America is great. You know what? We could find your ass and fucking blow your ass up.
and you
anytime
just
we
see when I
want.
saw those, like even the military generals, like getting all fired up.
yeah.
I was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
yeah!" It's so good.
and I think ultimately, like when you go to a place like China, which despite some of the economic challenges, is a world superpower and will continue to be a world superpower for the decades to come, probably the next century. Europe, obviously, they have lost pride in itself and it's crumbling. In America, a subset of the population has tremendous pride that they're very grateful they're here. But what's scary is what's happening in college campuses where everyone is just fucking shitting on the country.
Right.
And that's bad for like
But you know
what those kids become.
You know that's what I was going to say. The scary thing is that's where all of like the managers and future CEOs come from.
Yeah.
Like, if that's
Yeah.
the mindset in colleges, that's where our leaders.
So I thought about this a lot because my only comparison is that in the 60s, that was the same vibe on college campuses. It was very anti-American because of wars Vietnam War that we were entering.
Yeah.
And eventually those people got older, had family, and became conservative, right? Like you do change once. The only difference today is that like that in the 60s, that experience where you were get fed this information and this belief system was 4 years in college.
Right.
And then you had to get a job and then you forgot about it.
Let me just counter that real quick though. I think the scary thing is, I'm curious your thought on this, is what we've seen in the last like 3 years to me is the effect of the old college ideology. When I say old, I mean like 5 years ago, like of the wokeness. And it became where like, it was almost like these corporations were catering to the lowest level employee with an argument. So like the whole like safe space thing and super woke thing and all of that like transferred over into work, and all of these corporations or these workplaces started catering to these brand new, overly empathetic college kids. That is what scares me, is when it seems like in the Vietnam days, you still grew up and kind of hit the real world and no one gave a fuck about what the 21-year-old had to say. It feels like now everyone's catering to the 21-year-old.
I actually think it's different, right?
What?
Meaning, we think that, look, you know my ideological thinking.
Yeah.
The country spoke, and it's completely opposite of what the 21-year-olds think.
So that's my hope. So my hope is, and when I say I hope it's...
And like, I actually, I'm a liberal and I'm very progressive, but the country has said that they're not into that stuff. Right. So what are we talking about? We see TikToks, we see social media, we see Twitter,
right?
But the country voted very clearly against
that's
it.
my hope. That is my hope. But and that's why I said in the beginning of the episode, I hope that we're kind of at the end of like that political ideology, and that like there was just so much flawed in that, in where we
and I think if you're a young person in America who is extremely progressive in ideology but still love America, you should look at Europe and be like, we do not want to end up like Europe, because they went so extreme on the progressive ideology.
But think about it.
Basically,
the biggest Democrats in the world right now, AOC, Bernie, I mean, Buttigieg, that they are still kind of on like the like immigration thing, and like they're still on a lot of this shit.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: what Anand said, like, if AOC ran for president in whenever
she gets smoked,
she would get smoked.
Right.
I could run against her.
Yeah. Like, I don't think if that is the best candidate that the Democratic Party puts up, then they're going to lose power.
My only hope is Dean Phillips.
I bet. Here's my prediction: the person that is the Democratic nominee, we've never heard of.
I hope so.
It's gotta be.
I think it has to be a dark horse because like whoever's that list that I saw with the who's polling.
No, those are all terrible.
100% 0 cents.
But they're still
0%
doing
chance.
it. Like Tim Walz. Have you seen any of this guy's fucking speeches? I mean, these motherfuckers, it's just crazy. No, and I think that, like I always say on the pod, I think that my angle, and I'm actually just kind of realizing this, my angle is actually someone who wants the Democrats to figure it out. Because I do.
Well, I think it's healthier for the country if they figure it out.
If Dean Phillips was a little more charming and a little more charismatic, I think he'd have a shot.
But he's not, so he has no shot.
Yeah.
It's just when you see like the AOC and the Bernie. I mean, look, like I said, I don't think they would win the election
the problem is,
but they are the biggest.
Those guys, and they're really charismatic.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with them or not.
Bernie's great. I'll listen to any Bernie interview.
Right. Bernie was on
Andrew
Schultz's.
Yeah. I had to download it for my flight tonight. I'm going to listen to it. He's charming. He's a great speaker. And by the way, I agree with a lot of shit Bernie says. But the problem is, at the end of the day, he says things so extreme on a couple things that I'm just like, nah, fuck you. Right. I'm not voting your way.
But that's my point. I think they still, when you look at the way that they're handling like the immigration thing and these different things, I think they're still... Look, if they took the White House today, if they won some sort of election today, I think they would keep a lot of the policies that's fucking up Europe.
Oh, 100%.
Today.
Yes.
I think after the next 2 years, they'll hopefully figure it out if they were to win. But
Yeah.
I don't think they've totally bailed. Like the shit they're saying on stage is.
I would assume that someone on their team is not a complete idiot and is reading the room.
I would assume, but where are they?
They're not there.
You know how the Republicans were run by the Kochs and the Democrats were run by Katzenberg and all these other guys? I don't think either party is run by anyone anymore. Because Trump wasn't.
Trump runs the party.
I think Trump runs the Republicans. And
I don't think anyone runs a Democratic party.
No, it's a banana
but
republic.
I think they're in chaos. Democrats,
they're in chaos. And I don't think there's a person, they don't have like an Elon type figure that can galvanize them and give them money. Because you also have to give like $10 billion or at least the illusion of $10 billion.
Yeah, Elon gave $250 million, I believe.
Yeah. I think he probably gave more of like other things that we could never quantify. Well, he gave the media of X,
right,
which is priceless. But yeah, I think like
I don't think there's any leader on either side of the party.
I mean, their new guy is fucking. What's that guy's name? David Hogg.
Yes,
Trump is the leader. He's the supreme leader.
Yeah. I think there's no leader on the Democrat side, but I think that they haven't abandoned. They need to abandon, like the same way you just said, Anand, as a liberal, like you sort of accepted, whether you're the happiest about it or not, you've accepted what the country said. And like, okay, what do we do now with this new reality? Where I feel like they're still on the old reality.
Yeah.
And it's
they have to. And what's interesting is just like hearing people from around the world. Everyone I talk to would say like, I get why Trump is acting like this.
Right.
We have taken advantage of you guys. Like Europeans.
I mean, we made
China.
Everything you're talking about how great and how much progress China has made, all that stuff. We did it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, we paid for it.
We paid for all of it.
We paid for most of the world's progress of the last 50 years.
Which is okay.
Which is fine. We need to also progress ourselves.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just everyone here can't be saying death to America. That's the only.
You can't say that.
Shit breaks outside your house.
We have to hold our local politicians accountable. Like, we just have to. Like, we can't let the people that lived in fucking Altadena not get a house for 10 years. That's a joke. If that happens, someone should fucking lose their job.
Right. Like, think of how many people we probably pulled out of poverty around the world, but just in China, because we're talking about China. Probably
this is one of the things, like a friend from internationally who listens to the pod.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no one talks about the LA fires anymore, huh?
Well, people who live it deal with it every day. I was with a crew from Palisades today. They're living it.
I know, but it used to be like the social media rallying post.
Well, I was pretty surprised at how long it lasted, actually. That lasted pretty long. I mean, they did, what was it, like at the World Series or something? They did LA strong. I mean, I was actually pretty surprised, to be honest, because I'm with you on in that things passed pretty quick, but they held that one pretty long.
You still can't get on the PCH right now unless you're a resident of Malibu.
And also, as far as
no
I
one's
know,
talking about that.
When they did that press conference with Karen Bass and Trump and all that stuff, and they were like, oh, we're going to speed up the permit. I think the permit process is a fucking nightmare. I think it's still impossible to do any.
Obviously, the mayor's inept. She's a horrible fucking candidate for that job.
So crazy.
She's not experienced to handle this situation. Like, I'm sorry.
Isn't that what you've heard, that there's no progress on permit stuff?
So I was actually today with a bunch of families who they lost their homes in the Palisades.
Right.
The one thing they did say that like one section of the Palisades, they actually have cleaned up. Like, surprisingly, he said that it is cleaned up. Forget the permits, the building. No one's expecting to move back into their home anytime soon.
Right.
But like
they cleaned up.
They're starting to clean up.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our mutual Malibu friend told me minimum 2 years for Malibu to clean up the debris.
To clean up?
Minimum.
Yeah. Not in China. 24 hours.
And he said it's going to be, even when they open the PCH, he said it's one lane either way.
They had that press conference. You know, Trump, I don't think Trump really got it that bad. I think most people were actually supportive. But like, you know, he tried to press Karen Bass and the crew. And they're like, no, we're going to be working super fast. And we hear you. And yes, we will. And like, just nothing happened. But then the fact that it's not on the news anymore, you don't talk about it.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately the problem is that these types of like, this is what I'm talking about, like where we have to, you just got to start changing your mind. Like if you really believe there's a better life for you in some other country, I'm with people that say you got to get the fuck out. Then you got to, if you think it's better somewhere else, you should leave.
Right.
Like at some point you have to be grateful where you live. Like when you go to China, these people Guangzhou is the greatest city in the country. I love it. Best place to live in the world. That's what she said. Best place to live in the world. Can you imagine anyone saying that here? They don't say that.
Only in Miami.
But that's a cultural thing.
What? That's a good culture.
Yeah.
That they have to say.
That's a good culture. Yeah.
Good culture. It's pride. Do you think anyone in Paris says it's the greatest city in the world anymore? Fuck no.
Here's an interesting question. Can you have this new, not only freedom of speech, because we've always technically had freedom of speech, right? But we didn't have like freedom of media. And I think the media was a lot more propaganda-y, like in the 60s, 70s, 80s than we knew or than we admitted.
Yep.
The question is, can anyone have a podcast? Can anyone say whatever they want? Can anyone have a TikTok and have that level of pride?
But
probably hard.
Here's the thing. No one
people
actually,
naturally just like to be, I don't know.
Drama. This is the thing, right? I brought this up. Like, why don't you move? Because
you try to kick
everything
me out
here is.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who has done very well for himself. He saw the Jerry Jones pick with the person we all know.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, Dallas is the greatest place. But he's not moving to Dallas.
Right.
So what's the difference in China?
What do you mean?
They say Guangzhou is the greatest place. But in America,
yeah, but
we have friends that say Texas is amazing.
No, but that's
amazing.
different. No one in Guangzhou is saying, burn Guangzhou to the ground. We're going to fucking ruin this city if you ever do it. There's people in New York and LA that burn their own. There was people looting downtown LA this weekend. Weekend.
I didn't see it.
Yes, they were this weekend trashing downtown LA, tagging the whole city, breaking glasses, destroying metro buses. Our own city. Why would you fuck up your own city? How fucking dumb do you have to be?
But you get my point, Drama, right?
I get your point, but I think that the difference, and look, there is something to it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that I think there's a difference between like people that are doing well, kind of complaining about one city that's a really nice city while they live in another really nice city, and like this true like America has to be flipped upside down. It is a terrible place. It is a systemically racist, unfair, misogynist, terrible. Like people really believe that. And I gotta say, I don't know if I think that this is fair. Once again, as a registered Democrat, I think the Democrats are responsible for a lot of that. I don't think all of it. And I think there's a lot of things at play and I think it's really complex. But I think when you run and everything that you talk about is like racism and systemic terribleness for so long, I think it affects people. Like, I think like.
You want racism? Go to China.
Right.
Well, they like speed.
What? Yeah, because they probably paid him.
Yeah.
And speed.
They like one
Let me tell you something.
They don't want thousands of speeds.
Yeah. It is not a diverse country.
Yeah.
There's not obviously other Asian people. There's only Chinese people. There's not Japanese. There's not Korean. There's a few of us expats walking around trying to make some money, and then be on your fucking way and get the fuck out. Don't let the, fortune cookie hit you on the way out.
Don't let the Labubu hit you on the way out.
Yeah, don't let the Labubu. They don't want me there. They want me to help make money in and out, but they're not trying to invite me back.
Take off. Get on out of here, buddy.
Get the fuck out. Whatever you are. We don't know what you are. You speak in English, talk loud.
You loud American. What is this?
Loud American.
Brown. What is this?
Do you think
take your picture and get the fuck out?
If you took Haley, Dom, and Miles, you think you guys have a good life?
In China?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a pretty good life. I mean,
there's English schools.
So I would say the education, there wouldn't be an issue. I think the hardest part would be finding your people.
I also think the culture too, like your kids, like, you know, you watch football, then they go to the park and play football, and they have favorite baseball players, and they're those kids are fucking American as shit. You're not going to go
dude,
like
my kids need in and out, fucking fries, and Patrick
go to China and start
Mahomes.
asking who Patrick Mahomes is if anyone wants to throw the ball around. They're going to be like, no.
What's really interesting in previous times when I used to go to China, you know, I would see LeBron James. I would see that shit's gone. There ain't pushing no American stars anymore.
Really?
No, American stars.
Sport.
Dude, I couldn't even. It was so hard for me.
Like, what about Ronaldo?
Nah, I didn't see that motherfucker.
Messi?
Anyway, zero. Let me tell you what it's not. Messi.
They don't want Lionel or the real.
I mean, I went to Adidas, Nike. I didn't see nothing. No
Who
celebrities.
are they pushing?
Just
China,
like an
bro.
Asian dude in a lab coat.
Yeah, like a trendy looking Asian guy.
Fauci.
Fauci set the country back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Fauci fucked them.
I feel bad for those bats.
Actually, yeah, they probably hate. I mean, you would think Fauci did it.
Not Kyrie? You didn't see Kyrie? He's huge in China.
No, that's fake news.
Wow.
I think Anta I saw everywhere. Everyone was wearing Anta. Anta's huge.
So you didn't see one American professional athlete on a billboard?
Nothing. I used to see these people on this billboard.
It sounds to me like
That's
they've kind of said, like, fuck America. We're just going to talk about how great we are to our people.
Exactly. That's what it is. We're great.
Which would also
Guangzhou's
say,
great.
wow, why that speed thing, I'm not saying the speed thing was this well planned, but maybe it was, is actually genius because it's not putting Kyrie on a billboard in China. It's speed talking about how great China is.
Yes, that's my point.
Yeah.
That it's not about America pushing American culture in China anymore.
You did not see LeBron? I don't believe that.
No Braun, no Lay. Nothing. I'm telling you, I have a picture on Nanjing Road of fucking a witness sign of LeBron. There's a bigger than the one in Cleveland that everyone takes a picture of.
Yeah.
I have a picture of it in Shanghai.
Yeah.
You did take that.
I took that picture.
Yeah.
That shit ain't there anymore.
Damn. We got to get it back. Because look, I will say
By the way, you know what? The other interesting take, Nike's not popular either.
Really?
Definitely not popular. We hung out with
So the summer's about to start,
yeah.
right? The finals will be done by end of June. Do you think the brands are not going to send their guys to China?
They probably will, but they don't have influence. They don't.
Because they all go. Remember when Kyrie came on your pod, Drama, before our pod?
Mm-hmm.
The next day he was going to China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Not
think
anymore.
Kyrie's still popular. I think NBA players are still popular in China. It's about China.
I mean, look, you
They got
got to
their
know if you're China, the one thing you don't have, you can have manufacturing, you can have finance, you can have everything. They don't have culture.
They're about to.
And so,
Labubu is fucking transformational.
That's what I'm
for
saying.
Chinese
Can
culture.
you
you
name
look
one
at-
Chinese celebrity?
What? Labubu.
Lisa.
I mean, that's a product.
What are American celebrities? They're products.
Kyrie, LeBron, Ant-Man.
They're gonna
You
get
think Ant-Man can't
I don't
shut
think
down a
anything's-
mall
No, he's
in
too
China?
reckless.
Nah, they're not letting Ant-Man come to China.
Don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think if
no,
you're,
I'm telling you,
if you
it's-
cannot rely on American culture,
Yeah.
that's the only thing you really. I mean, obviously you need our money, but it's our culture that makes products hot. Or
So
makes,
it was really interesting. We were there for a week, and I didn't really see Americans, British people, nothing. The last night, I just was like, I wonder if there's a Mexican spot. So I found one. Half a mile from our hotel in Shanghai. We go, all the Americans and British, tequila, nachos.
Really?
Yes.
Was it decent or?
It was bad. I mean, like if I lived there, I'd eat there every day.
Was there any Mexicans working there?
Absolutely not.
Right. Okay. Oh man, how fun!
You take an Uber? What'd you do?
We took a Didi.
Oh, Didi.
Where do you go tonight?
Yeah,
We're not pushing
National.
Uber. Didi.
National.
Yeah.
You go
That's
to
what I'm saying. Like they basically have they took the speed at which they've developed culture is insane.
I just like I said this earlier, like 15 minutes ago, you're saying two different things. That
They're allowed to have a bad economy.
bad economy, but they love the country, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a takeaway.
Because like Dee said, if that's accurate, which I believe it is, that they put all their money into real estate and it was a bubble and they have a bit of a population crisis.
That's the problem is that they didn't invest in
great, you
stocks.
have all these other pieces, but
I'll tell you what advertisement I did see all over Hong Kong and not as much in China, but like in the airports and shit. But Hong Kong, the most billboard I saw, QQQ, invest in QQQ ETF.
Oh, wow.
Which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF. They know where to put the fucking money.
Yeah,
That's why I walked away from that trip. I was like, I got to buy stocks.
Yeah.
So the only place to put money is America.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
I know, but even like people, everyone believes China has like if you're a Democrat leadership, you're telling everyone, your party, the Chinese has leverage over America. They don't. America doesn't have leverage over China. China doesn't have leverage over America. We're lockstep. We're going to figure it out. Like all this shit's going to be solved.
Right.
So pre-COVID, because I don't travel like you do, but pre-COVID, I traveled a bunch. And every international airport I used to exit, I'd see Usain Bolt. Is there another character like that today?
Yeah, Chinese Bolt. There's only Asian people. They're done. They're done pushing everyone else's shit. They all look plastic surgery, Chinese people.
Yeah, we got to tear
Good looking people. They look great.
We got to get Kyrie back in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do not see like unless it's like a Asian American celebrity, they ain't gonna break through.
I think we got to put our foot down.
You don't think an American can be on? They just won't do it.
No, why? What's the point? Who cares? Even Speed's there. He's buzzing, but he wasn't on no billboards.
Right.
Love Speed.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on billboards. The young people know who Speed is, but like,
yeah, they got him out.
That was a trip to push Chinese culture, not American culture into China.
No, of course. It was very.
That's what's happening.
They got him in. They got him out.
I'm telling you, Labubu, and Speed, and a couple cars, and Sheen, couple of these things. This is going to become the brands that people. Anta's making a big push in America. Chinese brands are coming.
Anta's Chinese.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
And by the way, when you go to an Anta store and you look at the shoes, you're like, fuck, these are good.
Right. I mean, you could see like you're right, a couple footwear brands, a couple hot toys, and one of those electric minivans you talked about all over the streets. And fucking, it's over.
I mean, it's basically
We're already
like,
all on TikTok.
20, 30 years ago, it was all about Japanese everything. No one's talking about Japanese anything.
No, just for sushi.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
But think
literally
about the
nothing.
fact, yeah, man. I didn't even think about also they control the biggest fucking marketing vehicle in our whole country.
Yes.
Being TikTok.
Yes. Bing bong.
So you can literally.
Bing bong boom.
Are you a Knicks guy, by the way? Is that a Knicks hat?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to ride the wave. They got a big game tomorrow night.
Are you going to New York?
I'm going to New York tonight.
Yeah.
We're all, if anyone's in New York, wants to go to Jake's Saloon in Chelsea, I'll be watching the game. Bing bong. After you watch those videos, I'm so into the Knicks.
Me too, dude. That's literally the only thing that got me on it. It's so good.
I hate the Knicks. I literally hate the Knicks.
Yep.
But I watch these videos, and then I'm like a big Timothée Chalamet guy.
Yep.
I love Chalamet.
I'm fired up for Chalamet.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, I'll
way.
ride the Knicks wave.
Yep. I'm with you.
But, Pat Mack, he records out of Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
Huge Pacers guy. So I got to roll with Pat Mack.
I'm Knicks.
Bing bong.
I'm bing bonging. I just want Knicks and Timberwolves, but I didn't check the score, but I don't think Timberwolves are going to make it.
Timberwolves just lost
Yeah.
by 2 points.
They're out.
Yeah. So
Sad.
they're pretty toast.
They're toast.
So
3-1, right?
Yeah.
Give me Knicks, OKC. Bing bong.
All right.
OKC's so good, but whatever. We didn't.
We can end on a positive American note. Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
Yep.
We all went to the show.
Yeah. We each went different days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
I took my 7-year-old Dominic.
Oh, wow. Did he lose his mind?
First concert ever. It was so fun. He like lost his mind. I was a little afraid that it was going to be too loud. We went with another school friend of his and his dad. And I was just like, is it going to be too loud? Whatever it was. And, and I also had to be like, okay, the words coming out of these songs.
Of course. Yeah.
Like we went very early because we wanted to have dinner there. So Mustard was on at 7:15. The songs Mustard is playing.
Yeah.
It's just like, I literally was like, you cannot repeat these words.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It's smoking weed, half naked girls, everyone cursing.
Yeah.
I was like,
It
Jesus
was real
Christ.
LA culture. He got some LA culture real quick.
Did he understand it?
The songs?
No. Like the
Gravity?
No,
environment.
he wouldn't have
Yeah,
told
yeah, of
Dad.
course.
He's going to go to school on Monday and be like, listen
Yeah.
to this, guys.
Yeah. Have you heard of YG, kids?
Did anyone see Bieber? Was anyone there on the Bieber night?
I was there. I was there for the Bieber
It looked
show.
a little in person. Did it look okay? On TikTok, it looked a little.
A little sad.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok kind of ruined him, but I thought he was fine.
Because in the moment you weren't alarmed.
No, but
Right.
then I saw the
Yeah.
lifting of the face from SZA,
Yeah, it looks sad.
and
But in the moment, you didn't say like, ooh.
we were just like, "Oh, it's Bieber."
Yeah.
Because Bieber does those like emotional
Right.
performances.
He might have been fine. I'm not sure that anything was wrong, but great show. Props to Ant and the whole gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
really
it was
fun.
And just like pack. I mean, the coolest thing to me was like SoFi, Kendrick in LA, that energy. It was pretty great.
You know the most impressive part of the performance for me, at least, and you guys could chime in because you guys all went.
Yep.
He's not like a big dude, and that stage is huge.
Right.
And he's going from side to side, but for the most of the time, he's solo.
Right.
Yeah.
And he can command the stage.
No, it was amazing.
And I'm like, wow, this is insane.
I have one complaint.
What is it?
The merch prices are out of control.
What were they? The
Completely-
lines were insane.
So we
they
left
start
early.
at 1 p.m. and they end at 2 a.m.
So we left.
The merch?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
shit.
left 30 minutes before. Dominic was like, I'm tired. I can't be here anymore. So we left early. So we left at like 10:30. So we didn't get to hear Not Like Us or whatever. So on the way out, there was no line. So I picked up a couple t-shirts for the kids. I mean, they didn't have kid sizes, but $55 for a
For a
t-shirt.
tee? How much
A
were
t-shirt.
hoodies?
$55.
90?
What?
How much were hoodies?
Oh, like $150?
Damn.
$125?
I mean, when I was there, it was
That's
a line at all times. There wasn't a moment when there wasn't a line. So that means from 1 to 2 or whatever you said.
I think
Anand,
Trump needs to put price cap on merch.
Holy shit. Tariff it. Tariff says,
$55? Yeah, seriously. I like the SZA sweatshirt everyone was wearing. I was like,
The
I want
camo
that.
one?
It was like $130.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not paying $130 for this. Get the fuck out
I mean,
of
I
here.
wonder how much they sold. That's insane.
Millions, obviously. You don't have to sell
Millions.
that many. You sell 10, it's $10 million.
1 p.m. to 2 a.m.
That's crazy. Yeah, it was great.
It's unbelievable. And everyone was wearing merch. Everyone.
Yeah.
Even just walking around LA this weekend, everyone was wearing the fucking merch. Everyone had a $150 hoodie on.
Yeah, I mean, 3 nights. They did 3 nights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think he goes to Vegas next. I'm not sure.
Is this like the end or?
No, then he goes to Europe. Toronto. He took Toronto.
Oh, yeah, it's Toronto
Oh, wow.
after. It's Toronto, then Europe?
I think it's Toronto, then Europe.
Let me tell you something. My advice for the Kendrick tour of Live Nation people who are probably putting on the tour. In Europe, you're going to have to charge $10 for t-shirts. No one has that money.
Yeah.
Everyone's broke.
Yeah, $55. That's like a month's pay.
Yeah. Is Anthony going to Toronto?
I can't speak on that.
I can't wait to hear. Like,
Yeah,
I just
that's gonna
wonder
be
if there'll be,
interesting.
I might go.
I did. Really? You should go. You should go.
Yeah, why not?
Just go see it. Go see what happens when they do Not Like Us in Toronto. That's a cultural moment. I did notice, like, you know, I mean, maybe this is normal, but like everyone had some pretty big security guards with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even like going to the bathroom and stuff. It was, I saw like
random, I saw random celebrities at the thing.
Yeah.
Mega security.
But I mean, I saw Dave Free walking around and like he was not taking any
secured
chances.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I was, you know, thanks to Anthony, I was fairly close to the stage.
Yeah.
There was a security guard, 2 security guards. Whenever Kendrick was running around the stage, he was literally beelining to wherever he was.
Yeah.
They're not taking any, and this is in addition to the stadium security.
Right. That's his personal,
His personal security were like literally running like Secret Service.
You got to go to Toronto, man. I just, you know, it's got to feel like you're there, like with the fucking president. It's going to feel crazy, I bet.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. I can't wait to watch the videos.
Yeah. You got to go for the pod. Do it for the pod. Be a journalist.
And, you know, Anthony actually got one of Mav's people's kid and his family tickets, floor seats, and they did a video. It was amazing.
That's so good.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. All right. Is that all we got?
That's all we got. We got Ali wanted to give out, he's milking some mental health awareness month over here, where he wants to give out a discount.
Is he in the room?
It's kind of like, you know, today's Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, you know, to all the folks that serve.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like obnoxious how they've milked it into like a sale and a holiday weekend to go travel for like the actual reason of why that you celebrate the holiday.
Oh, yeah.
So Ali is taking advantage of Mental Health Awareness Month, and he's giving group chat listeners 30% off of Raised. It did really well. I think it sold out the last time we talked about it. So drinkraised.com, code is group chat, 30% off. And yeah, if you have, you know, weak mental health, pick it up.
That's a great
Raise
ad.
your mental health.
That's a great ad. Okay. And we have no shout outs?
No.
Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for listening.